First tonight, the derelict hospital described as one of the worst cases of public sector neglect in Britain.
Severalls Hospital in Colchester closed 12 years ago. The buildings should be worth millions, but in that time they've been wrecked by vandals. The BBC asked the Health Trust for access, but without success. So a BBC Essex team went in anyway to see for themselves. Gareth George was with them and is outside the hospital now. Gareth.
Well, we were hoping to get a little bit closer to Severalls Hospital than this, but as a result of what Look East broadcast at lunchtime today, the hospital now has 24-hour security, and a very polite security guard moved us up here to the entrance. But yesterday morning, on your behalf, we launched a dawn recce.
This was the moment a BBC team breached what little security there is at Severalls Hospital.
We've been told by local people how important it is, how important this site is and how badly it's been kept. And we believe the best way to show that is to actually gain entry.
And we weren't the first through the fence. Even in the dark, it was clear a valuable asset was now a vandal's paradise.
Well, this was obviously bath facilities at one point, and vandals have come in and broken everything, smashed everything they could.
Our dawn trespass continued. There was no sign of security, and everywhere we went, the vandals had been before. The scale of the damage was breathtaking.
The grounds of Severalls, absolutely huge, dotted around the grounds. What obviously used to be rather lovely buildings, but you can see why the conservationists are worried, because everything that can be ripped out has been ripped out, and everything else has been burnt.
And you can see here the roof is gone. It's completely open to the elements.
We showed our footage to the Secretary of Save Britain's Heritage. He was appalled.
Well, having seen these latest images, I'm absolutely devastated by what has happened to that place. It's heartbreaking to see what was this wonderful model settlement, architecturally very beautiful, set in this delightful landscape, ripe to be reused as residential development, allowed just to decay. It's absolutely tragic.
And one local MP says the neglect has cost the taxpayer millions.
It's an absolute disgrace. I just hope that your film will ensure that no further time is lost and something is done, please, to ensure that what is left of Severalls will be salvaged.
Perhaps it's no wonder the Health Trust didn't want people to see the ruins.
You can see those pictures on bbc.co.uk/Essex. So what about the Health Trust? Well, the North Essex Partnership NHS Foundation Trust said that architects have now been appointed to draw up detailed residential plans for Severalls. Those plans will be submitted to the council early next year. But this is where the statement gets interesting, because it goes on to say that Severalls Hospital is private property. Access is strictly prohibited, and the Trust will strongly consider formal prosecution for illegal entry.
Gareth, thank you very much.
Tonight, Look East can reveal the scale of the massive new wind farms planned for this region. They'll be bigger and further out to sea than the existing sites. When they're finished, they could deliver up to 5 times the amount of electricity produced by the nuclear power station at Sizewell, enough for 7 million homes.
Towering above the sea, wind farms are taking shape off our coast. These turbines near Clacton stand 129 metres high. But this is just the start. This is where consent has already been granted to build wind farms. Several have already been built. But they'll be dwarfed by the next round of development. An area nearly 6,000 square kilometres has been earmarked for up to 6,000 megawatts of generating capacity. That's the equivalent of 5 times the current output of Sizewell B nuclear power station. At SLP Engineering in Lowestoft, they're currently building an electricity substation for a wind farm. The job's employing 200 people. But in future, they hope to build the huge underwater structures needed for wind farms further offshore.
6,000 megawatts just right off this coast in the Norfolk field. gives you a size of the kind of difference. And we're talking massive, massive structures. Similar to the ones where we consider we have expertise, similar to the ones that we build for oil and gas, but just many, many times more.
Many challenges lie ahead. It would require billions of pounds in investment. Offshore wind power has had reliability problems. And this energy expert says there are many unanswered questions.
It's great to see this actually starting to come along. But then what about all the infrastructure associated with it? The power cables to come ashore. Have we got the proper capability of bringing the power from all of these to where we need it in the rest of the country? And the answer is, in general, no.
By 2020, a fifth of our electricity will have to come from renewable sources. The government will announce who's won the licences for this huge expansion of wind farms off our coast by the end of the year. Richard Daniel, BBC Look East.
And there'll be more about that story in the Politics Show, Sunday at midday on BBC One.
An 8-year-old girl from Norwich who had swine flu has died within 24 hours of falling ill. Maisie Price was admitted to the Norfolk and Norwich University Hospital with flu symptoms. A coroner is still investigating the cause of death. Described by her family as a beautiful and energetic, healthy girl, hers is the 8th swine flu-related death in the region since the pandemic began. Her parents have urged others to take the swine flu vaccination to prevent another family from suffering a similar tragedy. It was the first day of the national postal strike today. Across the region, businesses and householders face disruption. For many, it's an inconvenience, but for some companies, particularly small businesses and online retailers, it can be much more serious.
The picture was much the same at mail centres up and down the region. The Postal Union claimed a 95% turnout for the first day of its two-day strike.
We don't want to lose pay. Christmas is coming up. Everybody, people, businesses, charities, everything rely on the Royal Mail. But if you worked in this environment, you would understand why we're out.
It won't be long before the action starts to bite. Henry Moult runs a small mail order company at Bythorn in Cambridgeshire, selling books about how to paint. The business is too small for it to be cost-effective to use private carriers, so Henry relies on the Royal Mail 100%.
If it's 48 hours, it's a hiccup and we can live with it. If it starts to become prolonged, then we lose customers, we lose business, and potentially we just go bust.
The region is home to several online retailers. They have much to fear from the strike. The bookseller Amazon has a big depot near Milton Keynes. It's doing everything it can to avoid disruption by routing orders through private mail carriers. Kiddicare, based in Peterborough, is the UK's biggest online retailer of baby products.
Here they don't even use the Royal Mail. They rely on a private carrier. But they're still concerned the dispute will put people off shopping online.
Yes, there is that concern, but we're making it perfectly clear online that we are using our independent courier service Interlink and that the same service applies. People will get their next day deliveries the next day. There'll be no delays. And again, we're just trying to reassure our customers that service is normal.
Tomorrow it'll be the turn of delivery and collection staff to join the strike. Richard Bond, BBC Look East, Peterborough.
Well, tomorrow night, Look East goes on the road for a special programme.